Greetings, fellow administrators. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Sintopia. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the setup of this series, please use YouTube chapters. Sintopia is a management simulation and god game hybrid, where you manage hell by re-educating the sinful to generate profit, faith, research, and to expand your bureaucratic administration. Create complex rehabilitation facilities, wage wars on the Overworld, create cults that drive up your faith, and shape the world to your desires and whims. I'll be playing the campaign on normal difficulty, starting with the tutorial. There won't be a voted priority, because I'll just be doing the priorities of the campaign, so no backseating and no spoilers, ideally. There's some other caveats here it is worth noting, which is that, unlike the normal games that I play, this one isn't exactly family-friendly. It's got some swearing and some, sexualized imagery. It's tame, but it's definitely not family-friendly. So just a little warning about that. On top of that, Twitch integration is turned on. So just type !join and you'll enter the queue for stuff to be named after you, instead of my normal, raffle method. There's a lot of cutscenes and videos in this game, and I'm going to be hiding myself for those, so let's get the campaign started, and then I'll disappear for a minute.
Congratulations! You were selected to be Hell Incorporated's new administrator. You and your team will have to knock the 7 deadly sins right out of the souls that come your way. Now, you're probably wondering, how does it work? What should I do? Don't you worry. No one really knows. That's the secret of a good administration. Et voila! The fabled Liber Administratum, the all-powerful book of administration magic. It's yours to wield now. But be careful how you use that puppy, You do not want to end like your predecessor. Well, what are we waiting for? Chop chop! Boot camp awaits.
Dear applicant, since the previous holder of this job got exiled from creation, you have applied for the new vacant position of Hell's Administrator. After careful analysis of your mostly empty resume, yes, we are happy to announce that your profile was selected to take the reins of Hell Inc., a Heaven Co. subsidiary. We assure you that being the only applicant among angels does not remove anything from your merits in earning that title. The chairman, creator of all that is, shall approach you promptly for your onboarding and training.
Here we are, your first world to redeem for me. Well, it's not exactly a normal world. This one is magically warded against wanton stupidity. You didn't think I would give you the keys without teaching you the ropes first? Anyway, Lesson 1.
Crap. It's on the priority line. Sorry, I've got to take that.
Oh, well, I'm sure you will figure it out. In the name of me, it never stops! I swear I need vacations far, far away. Might file a complaint to HR about this. Why am I the only one that doesn't get to ever take a break?
Look at you, all alone, you poor thing. Call me Lily. You're appointed Chief of Staff and all-purpose advisor. Pleasure's all mine. Oh, don't be surprised. You'll be in very good company ruling over hell as its new administrator. And yes, before you mention it, I am indeed a succubus. The very first to ever be. Don't worry yourself, however. I am very much tamed. Even if there is still some bite left in me. Oh, please, you need only ask. But enough fun talk. We have souls to punish.
Okay, boot camp. The chairman being absent, Lily, the first succubus, is taking care of your onboarding on this magically protected world where almost nothing bad can happen. Not to you, anyway. Goal: to meet the hummus, to visit the office, to learn the basics. We start off with $5,500 purga and 50 hummus, or whatever. Additionally, and this is optional, but I'll do it, the characters involved in the campaign mission can be talked to on the right.
Ahem. May I have a word? You may have noticed that your boss, our boss, can be a tiny bit moody. Overwork does that to a person, even to cosmic entities. I don't think he's a bad apple per se, but it almost feels like he is permanently on the verge of collapse. Actually, that the entire creation is on the verge of collapse. True or not, the way to handle a guy like that is rather simple. Smile, make yourself small, don't ask questions, try to please. He's never around for long anyhow, so the storm passes. Once gone, you still have plenty of time to be all lordy, power-hungry, schemy, anything your heart desires.
Alright, let's start.
Allow me to teach you a few tricks before the chairman comes back, First, let's visit this realm's overworld. See for yourself.
So the world is split into the overworld and the underworld, and you are, despite being Hell's administrator, you're kind of the administrator of both. So yeah, let's go to the overworld.
Meet your administered sentient chickpeas. Yes, you heard me right. They're called hummus. They aren't overly smart, and they have a tendency to sin a lot, but I suppose that's why we're here, to cleanse them in between their lives before it gets too bad. For example, if you were to judge these guys as needing a quick trip to hell, you could always nudge their fate the right way, right?
Alright, time to play God. So, hummus develop on their own, depending on their individual life paths. Influencing their life and death happens through spellcasting. So, it wants me to Fusro Da directional force push them. And the way to do this is to click and drag a line to cast.
What? What was that? I was being hypothetical. Anyway, no biggie. Dying isn't that much of a big deal for the hummus. That's kind of what they do anyway. As a matter of fact, if you like it that much, you might as well do it again.
Radial force push. You click and hold, and then release.
All right. Now that the introductions are done, have a look around.
And I might have killed some people. Okay, WSD to move, or right mouse button. Wheel, Q and E to rotate. Let's go ahead and first select the temple.
Oh, yes. This is the seating temple. It flew all the way here from heaven to populate this world with hummus. Essentially, it's the building that binds everything together with our hellish operations, so if it gets destroyed, there's no recovering from that. We're done.
Okay. Some of the UI relevant here is like stockpiles of food, stockpiles of building material, that it is a spawn beacon, a resurrection portal, and has the administrator's altar, and it has a specific king. All of this will be like more relevant later on. So let's select the spawn beacon. These are the hummus seeds. This is where the new hummus comes into the world according to the birth rate every day at dawn. So it depends on shaboinking, but also depends on some other like upgrades and stuff. We'll get into that. And then the resurrection portal. Whenever you resurrect a Humu from hell, they end up here for brand new life. Okay, let's also check out the sawmill and farm. Here's the farm.
If I haven't forgotten my hummus biology class, they have a wheat and fish-based diet. I wonder though, when sentient chickpeas eat wheat-based food, does it taste like meat for them?
Okay, this is a farm. The hummus gather food and drop it into the stockpile, and they have to eat and feed themselves. So as your population grows, your need for food will grow as well. And there are ways for you to influence their food. So like, for instance, if I burnt down their farm, obviously they wouldn't have food anymore. And here is the sawmill. This is the sawmill. Hummus gather materials to drop it into the stockpile in order to build and expand. All right, now let's go over to the Reaper bus.
And this is where their sweet soul goes when they die. They'll chill there for a while, until they get buried away to hell. All right, there's someone I want you to meet. He should arrive anytime now. Anytime. Come on. Come on. Ugh, neither of us have time for that. Did you know you can manipulate the flow of time according to your needs? Could you please give it a boost?
All right, so time controls on the top left. And we're accelerating time. And here's the Reaper bus.
Meet Steve, the Reaper. He created a company for the delivery of souls. He works with us as a private contractor for Hell Inc. Note that his bus has a maximum capacity, so if souls do miss the bus, they'll have to try and get the next one.
So when hummus die, they go to the cemetery to be respawned and gathered up and brought to hell by
shipment.
Steve.
All right, I think it's time for you to check the office. Let's follow our souls in hell.
Next up, hell. All right, so in the top right, you can switch between the Over and Underworld by clicking this thing.
Welcome to Hell Inc., Administrator. Your bureaucratic empire starts today.
Here's the bus.
Here's the theory. We must reduce the sins of these naughty boys and girls. Then, once we're comfortable with the amount of sins they have left, we can just have the layout we built gently lead them to the resurrection gate so they can take a new shot at life. I'll let you tour your playground a little bit before we begin.
All right, so souls come into hell, this hell, there's a lot of hells, through the bus here, and they enter here, the path to salvation. Then we have to build something here to remove their sins, and then resurrect them here at the portal.
Remember this. Hummus and souls keep their sins through life and death. They might forget their previous life, but there is no reset on the taint their souls carry. That's precisely why our job is critical if you don't want the hummus to go insane with sins, or worse. Much worse. Don't even ask.
Okay, so the layout should always finish here so that souls can go back to life. There is an upgrade to be able to build one of these things instead, but generally speaking, you send them to the resurrection gate. Alright, let's select a soul. I wonder who it will be.
If we do our job right, for every soul we resurrect with low enough sin, we will get awarded with precious heroes. Heaven's currency. You'll be able to spend these in R&D and further develop your powers, but I'll go back to that later. All right, time to build.
Okay, so if you take a look at them, this person has a certain amount of sins. They have 73 total sins. Their sins are divided in the 7 deadly sin categories. So their most sin is in pride, then some in envy, lust, greed, etc., etc. No wrathful at all. And they're omni-resistant, so because we're in a tutorial world, they don't gain sins as quickly. Alright, let's continue the boot camp. It wants us to build 2 Omniscient Doctors. So in the Soul's punishment menu here, we can build the Omniscient Doctor, which helps to remove sins, every type of sin, as long as you aren't too sinful. So there's 1 and 2.
This punishment building can transform sins into hard cash, purgadollars. It's not very good at it, though.
Alright, souls always try to move forward. They cannot go against the flow, so be careful with the direction of the roads. Hummus split evenly at every intersection. So we're going to create a road here, up here, 1 over to the left, and 1 over to the right. And you can hit Q and E to change the orientation of the road. And then likewise, remerge, and go back to resurrection.
Done. And don't you worry, I'm blocking these souls for now.
Okay, buildings need employees to work in it. You can hire them in the management menu and drop them over a building to assign them. Personally, I like to just hire them through the building. There are 3 types of employees, employees, and we need these guys. So we've got Terminal Serenity with boosted work speed. We've got Darkest Dodo with reduced break time, and then Turtle Sandwich with work speed. So I'm going to do Darkest Dodo in the left.
What work?
And let's see, the cheaper one, Terminal Serenity, in the right.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
I think we'll want a Hell Pet show next. This building produces faith coins by trading souls. Faith coins are consumed to power your spells. You'll want a lot of these to have fun in the overworld.
All right, so the spells we use in the overworld, like the Force Push, uses faith coins, and faith coins is generated by a puppet show, essentially. And there is, so this is definitely a non-optimal layout, because this layout is essentially saying 1/3 of the people we treat will not have their sins removed, which is fine for the tutorial, but totally not acceptable in any real play, which is kind of weird that they would have us build it like this, but whatever. So each building requires a specific type of employee, Sadimps, Secretariamps, and Work Imps for everything else. So this is a Work Imp hire, which is a different type of imp. So we've got movement speed, movement speed, movement speed. Wow, okay. Doggos. Yeah, I guess it's you. The other stats to look at is their work time. So Lord Orion actually works more time than the other 2. So I'm actually going to hire Lord Orion. All right, check idle souls.
All right, I'm freeing the freaks.
And then what will end up happening is they will evenly split 3 ways. The ones in the middle will generate faith coins. The ones on the left and the right will generate money and remove their sins. So if we take a look at the first person, Bertha Ironbelly here. And I think these like starter hummus can't be named.
I think we need more souls. Should we go get more, if you get my drift?
So she has 71 sins, and we're going to be removing sins from her and generating cash. So as you can see, her sin count is going down. But Lily wants me to kill some people.
Okay. When you're on the hunt, be creative with the environment. You might be surprised how a little fantasy can be rewarding. My personal favorite? Crushed by the udders of a cow. And don't you feel bad for them, okay? It's strictly professional. There's no wrong in having fun at work.
Well, I tried to throw a cow at them, but it didn't work. How about this? So I did kill one. How about go over to the lumber mill and throw some lumber at them? Oops. Did I start a fire? Oh, did I make it worse? I don't think they're going to be building much for a bit. I definitely caused some destruction there. Some crispy hummus. Mmm. Roasted hummus. And let's do a radial push here. Well, that wasn't much of a radial push. Let's try that again.
Oh, all out of juice. Let me patch you up.
So
Here you
Lily
go.
just
Have fun.
gave us a whole bunch of faith coins for free. What else can we do? Maybe I'll try throwing cows at people again. Oh, no. I'll just throw them this way. And then back. Ultimate,
Ooh,
don't touch
well
the ground.
done. You're a natural. It shows.
Okay. Hummus gains sins in many ways. For example, witnessing other hummus dying makes them more wrathful. Got it.
Well, dear Administrator, we're all done with the basics now. Why don't you earn your keep? That's bound to please the chairman when he returns. Lily out.
Okay, so the boot camp objective is to have 2 operational Hell Pet shows and then 4 Omniscient Doctors. So I'm going to move this Hell Pet show here so everyone goes through it. And I'm going to save up some more money before I do anything else because this is really, frankly, not enough money to do much with. But all the people that we murdered are coming in for their sins to be expunged. So this joint here doesn't really need his sins expunged. The TLDR, and this will go a bit in more detail later, is that you gain research points when you resurrect someone who has less than 50 sin. So anyone with less than 50 sin realistically doesn't need to go through an Omniscient Doctor because they are already low enough sin level that it's not needed. But we'll get into that in a bit. Thomas Ross, thank you for the resub. So let's get another Hell Pet show. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna move this one here. And then we'll split the roads and have them remerge. So now I have 2 Hell Pet shows to handle the extra volume. And then we'll hire Rylis to work on the left one. So we have the 2 operational Hell Pet shows. We do not have the Omniscient Doctors, and I'm going to speed up time a little bit to get the money for the Omniscient Doctors. There is also sometimes, and I don't think it occurs in the tutorial mission, but sometimes there are chests out here in the overworld for you to open up, but I don't believe they exist in the tutorial world, so I'm not looking for something that exists at the moment. Yep, just keep working. Just ignore the fact that I torched your work. So here we go. Another Omniscient Doctor. And I'll put it here. And then put a road like this and like that. And hire Turtle Sandwich, because you're literally the only worker. You lovely mouth breather, you. Now we only need one more operational Omniscient Doctor to satisfy the tutorial objectives. And the tutorial objectives can be hidden anytime here. Now, I have a lot of faith coins. Let's go mess with some lumber jacks and Jills. You know, just a little light killing. Whoops. I threw them around. Alright, here is the other Omniscient Doctor. And I built them in such a way that they will all have equal capacity and load. Right? Because at every road, there's a 50-50 split. So half go left, half go right, half go up, half go right, half go up, half go left. So each one will have equal amounts of work. And for the last one, we will hire Scion.
Will I have to talk to people?
My. We might just make something out of you. Good job. Kiss, kiss.
The temple thrives. I passed boot camp. Yeah. So that is the long and short of it. And as the campaign missions progress, there will be layers of complexity added at each edition.
I see you've met your chief of staff. Good old trustworthy Lily.
You know me. Straight as an arrow.
As any arrow should be. Otherwise, bang! Crooked arrows go straight into the trash bin. Anyway, as it seems that Lily already took it upon herself to onboard you, I will leave you two to it. Got calls to make, busy. But hey, good talk.
Anyway, big day for you coming up. Your first real assignment. But before we dive into it, you should meet your coordination team. This is Rupert, our expert in everything hummus-related. I think he has a PhD in homology or something like that, allegedly.
Yes. Well met, Administrator. Some could say that I am indeed a specialist. I have helmed for several years the Institute of Sins and Hummus, where we studied the interactions between...
What a dork!
Actually, I wasn't finished.
I love this guy.
I was going to explain...
And that would be Larry.
Damn right I am, the Larry. Hotshot, ladies' man, and 3-time world champion of forklift tuning.
And your job is...
Well, I'm the man you want to talk to for everything maintenance and infrastructure related. I keep this whole little operation tight and steady.
And no one doubts that. And finally, we have...
I can introduce myself, thank you. I'm Janine, Mistress of Paperwork and Processes. And, if I'm not mistaken, that is all you're required to know.
Right. Good. Well, now that you've met your crew, let's get to work. On your mark.
Okay, now that you've learned the basics and met your entire crew, you are given your very first assignment. However, the training rules aren't removed just yet. After all, you still have lots to learn. Attend a humology course, study the Liber Administratum, and learn advanced notions. Let's also talk to them as well.
Oh boy, am I tired.
Tired? From what? You barely work around here.
Nah, I do stuff, lots of cool stuff. You just don't see it.
Your self-deception baffles me. How could you possibly get this job?
How could I not? A certain chief of staff couldn't get enough of me. She was all like, "Oh, big stud muffin, why don't you come over here and work with me? Oh, and you know me, it's not my style to disappoint a lady."
Wait, you're talking about Lily. You seduced Lily.
Well, I'm not one to brag, but...
There's no way that ever happened. Lily. Hey, Lily. Did that happen?
Oh, it may have happened in his head. I remember Larry hitting on me. Pretty hard, actually. Probably came at me with all he's got, the poor thing. Not that I would have accepted anything from him, but I thought it was cute. Anyway, I figured boldness was a good trait to handle Hell Inc.'s working operations. And bold he is. There you have it.
I remember it, differently.
Ha! Nice. Resumes trashed, last month's bills burnt, employee suggestions. Here's one. Put a shredder directly into the suggestion box. It will save time.
Your administrative skills are a wonder to witness in person. I read some things about you, but I did not know you were that efficient.
Unlike others, I got this job fair and square by being the best. If you read Trend Imps Monthly, you know I'm the fastest stamper this side of hell.
I did read it, actually. I saw that you won the highest paper pile record 2 years in a row. Lily, is that why you nominated her? Because of this record?
That's how I heard about her, but not what made my decision. Here, Style Imp, an issue from 6 months ago. Janine was elected most fashionable imp holding a flamethrower. I figured we would have a lot of invoices to burn, so better burn them with style.
Yeah, I'm good at that too.
So, if we analyze the sinometer data over time, you can easily spot the moment when a humu turns into a deviant. The accumulation of sins creates behavioral spikes, which...
Yeah, I get it. But that's not what I asked. How did you become an expert in humology again?
Well, one receives a diploma after extensive courses on hummus history, biology, and social science. For that, you would need to attend the Institute of Humu and Sin for at least 9 years.
Again, not what I asked. I asked how you did it. I know you need to study if you want to get a freaking diploma, but you're married. You started working pretty young. How'd you do it?
I, was married. I'm not anymore. I mean, I still am, but I won't be soon. I'm in the middle of a divorce, you see.
Oh, geez, you don't say. Maybe your wife asked you something simple, and you just never answered.
It's not just, she did look for answers that I could not provide, but her gym coach managed to, apparently. It's not that I couldn't, really. I have a condition.
Whoa, too many details, my man. I guess I'll go annoy someone else.
Don't you have work to...
Nah.
All right. Well, let's get started.
Before
I'm also
I
going to
leave
put
you
up
off the
this poll.
hook, there's still a handful of topics you should go through if you don't want mayhem to strike within days.
Okay. So I'm just asking up top if you want me to continue to do these conversations. So here is the next world. And you can see that we start off with 36. Average sin is 48. Highest sin is greed. It's a small map, normal difficulty campaign mode. Let's get going.
Let us begin the Hummus Political Theory course. If you open your manual, chapter 12, page 78, paragraph 4...
Rupert, we don't distribute these manuals to administrators anymore. Budget reallocation? Just make it short, yes?
Oh? Oh, I wasn't aware. I'm not a fan of improvisation. Can we postpone this?
Step aside, buddy. Let me handle this. All right, Chief, here's the deal. There's some kind of scepter imbued with the power to control the hummus population. It's planted in a magical rock in front of the temple. It randomly selects a new ruler whenever there isn't one. And then that guy has to go through the coronation process to finally do his thing. And, the ruler, do what rulers do. Same as you, I guess? Sorry, Chief. I'm still a bit fuzzy on what you actually do.
The ruler assigns the life path of hummus and orders the construction of buildings. Their personality determines the assignation priorities. Why can't I read that word? So if we take a look at the ruler here, they are at max health, omni-resistant, magic-resistant, and pride-resistant. And they are an industry mogul.
Please note that hummus rulers will determine the life paths of others, as well as what to build according to their personality. So expect wildly different priorities from a ruler to the next. These rulers often bolster the spirit of the hummus that they favor, giving them an edge for as long as this ruler remains in power.
Which means, if you don't like this one, you can change. Just spitballing ideas, of course, but an inappropriate ruler could end up having an innocuous accident, like smashing his face against a wall.
All right. So this ruler, for instance, is an industry mogul. And if you mouse over it, as you can see, he is going to cause a higher amount of pride sin. His strengths is gatherer, merchant, builder, and his weaknesses is harvester, priest, and doctor. And if you don't like the ruler, well, you know, kill him.
Such a tragedy. The king is dead. Long live the king.
I don't think he's getting up from that. When the ruler dies, an aspiring ruler is chosen randomly. So here they are. Miss Zeitgeist here, the aspirant
Such
queen.
Eagerness.
And the coronation takes time. Meanwhile, no one is handling the realm, so nothing can be built by the Humus. God, I almost want to just like force push her up the hill. Like, get there faster. Yeah, just a little regicide. It's no big deal. Death by head trauma. Yeah, you don't say. Yes, thank you for the resub. And here she goes. She's pulling out the scepter, the ruler's scepter. Or... And we have a new ruler. So we can check the coronation now. Opening up the ruler's menu. She's getting crowned. Just come on, finish. There we go. Open up the ruler menu. And now, as you can see, she's an ambitious explorer. So she has more vulnerable to envy instead. And she galvanizes rangers. So rangers are... Humus that work in a archery tower and explore the world. And she is not very good at, you know, Humus working in churches. And there we go. We have this little alert that she was coordinated. And then over here in the watchtower, you can see...
the brave hummus explorers. Famous for... well, famous for their casualty rate, really.
Rangers are a critical part of the Hummus civilization. They serve as the first line of defense and will scout points of interest, such as research nodes and enemy camps. So, the Ranger Tower here deployed 10 Rangers on an expedition over here. Here they are.
Seems that these resources are free to claim. Good for them.
And the Hummus thrives when they claim resources and exploit it. So you are gently trying to sort of influence the overworld by allowing the Hummus to thrive. Because if they're dying off, there's really no one to punish anymore. You've essentially lost your job. So the Hummus need to flag resource nodes before colonizing them. Hostile entities can conquer them under the right circumstances.
Another squad isn't having as much of a good time.
So, these rangers here are trying to claim this field of wheat, and something is coming to stop them. So if we click here, here's another squad of rangers fighting wargs. Warglings, sorry, baby wargs. And we can influence the fight by making sure one side wins and the other not so much.
Very, very bad puppies. You did good. However, more will come if you don't also destroy the lair. These logs might come in handy. If you can aim, that is.
So the warg lair will spawn wargs continually until the lair itself is destroyed, and there's generally speaking a reward for destroying lairs and the like. So aiding your hummus in destroying lairs helps.
Oh,
and there it goes,
look.
it collapsed.
They were guarding a chest. Maybe you should crack that open.
So this copper chest needs to be broken for us to open it up, so let's just throw it around a little bit. And it opens. And we gained 1,900 Perga dollars. Perfect.
Chief, all that cash will, come in handy. Let's use it to kickstart our hellish operations.
All right, check the hell layout. So here we are. Here is the Underworld.
Ugh, what a mess. Look at these degenerates, lobbing up chaotically. Hell's passive corruption will make their sins much worse if they remain outside a waiting line. They should wait their turn in an orderly fashion.
All right. So in Hell, corruption makes souls periodically gain random sins, except when inside a building or in a waiting line. Souls in a waiting line keep waiting until called by a connecting building. This is important to note. You only gain heroes, which is the currency to unlock upgrades and research. It's basically research coins. You only gain heroes if you send souls to the respawn if they have less than 50 sins accumulated. So in this case, if, let's say, we punish one of these souls down to 50, or let's say down to 49, and then they pick up a few extra sins on the way to the respawn portal, they aren't worth anything to us, not for research. So what this is saying is the souls waiting in front of buildings will pick up sins casually over time, or periodically over time, I should say. And it's important to make them wait in line so they don't do that. So let's go ahead and create a waiting booth. And then drag the waiting line down a little further. And I'm doing a bad job of fulfilling the tutorial as they want. Waiting line. Yeah, there we go. Further. No, even further. There we go. All right, and then the waiting line is manned by an employee, a secretary imp. So interesting that these guys aren't named after you. Let's go ahead with someone that has reduced break time.
Wow, thank you. Guess I'll finish.
Better, prettier, tidier, just the way I like it.
Now, one of the other advantages of this is, as you can see, there is 4 different objects here. And normally speaking, they would dispatch up, left, and right equally, 33, 33, 33. But because we have a waiting line, they will dispatch a Humu to them equally as they are emptied out, so that nobody waits. So essentially, it is also like a queue filler. That makes sense. Thank you for tuning in to Sintopia, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming stream. If you'd like to join my online gaming community in Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow administrators.